What is the most important lesson I have learned during my career? I think the most important lesson I've learned during my career is to keep on keeping on, because when I feel like I've hit the buffers and the ideas aren't coming, and I'm not sure what to do next, or I'm not feeling particularly positive about what I'm producing, I just keep on printing. Sometimes I might switch to a different medium, like I worked in collagraphs for a long time, and then I sort of feel like I've stretched it as far as I can go, run out of steam, and so I will just then switch to monotype. And it's quite good to have that sort of gap, sometimes quite a long gap, sometimes as much as a year, sometimes more than a year, between working in a particular printmaking medium, because I've learnt a lot. I've learnt as much as I feel I can learn in a particular medium. I switch, and then I find that having had that long break, I'm coming to it fresh, and I'm developing the work, and being able to follow my nose, if you like, as each layer is printed, and then it sparks another, like it's actually happening at the moment. I've been primarily working in monotype, and as I'm working in monotype, much as I'm enjoying the process of the monotype, and I still feel I haven't come to the end of that process yet, I'm also seeing that there are other possibilities that I could actually take elements of what I'm doing in monotype into collagraph, and it would be really interesting to see how, if I do it in collagraph, what will the print look like if I do it that way rather than using monotype. And then that leads to, well, what would it look like if I used a bit of monotype and collagraph together, and you see how it develops. Do you think the value of art is overlooked in society, including the education system? The answer is absolutely yes, especially under the current government administration. It has changed so much in the last few years, and well, don't get me started. I'm not going to go down that route because it's not a politics interview. If I could own one artwork, what would it be? That is a good question. It's really, really hard to choose. But because there are several artists whose work I would like to own. But the one that comes to my mind at the moment is I share my studio with Glynis Carter, who is a painter, and I really like her work, and occasionally we wander into each other's studios and I see a painting that she's got in progress, and I think, oh, I'd love to have that on my wall. Glynis would be one of the people at the top of the list. I know one who I'd also really love to own one of her prints or one of her paintings. Prints, I think, is I love the work of Barbara Ray. I love her colour palette. I love her approach to printmaking, and the fact that she uses monotype and collagraphs like I do. Not Glynis, then Barbara Ray would be one of the people at the top of my list to own an artwork of. How have you been finding lockdown? Mixed, I suppose. Same as probably most people. Life didn't change that much during complete lockdown because I spend, most of my days between home and the studio anyway, and I don't see people very much anyway. But I am finding it quite tricky now. The longer it goes on, it's getting harder and harder to stay motivated. But I will just keep on keeping on, like I've said before, and hope that I just ride it out. Has it affected the focus of process of my work? A little bit, but again, so far, because I have these live streaming broadcasts to do, it has actually been quite good in that sense, that I've actually had to show up, and therefore it has kept me going. I think possibly if I wasn't doing the live streaming, I would possibly be struggling a bit more than I am now. And have I got any exciting new projects on the horizon? Only new work. I'm currently producing a body of work based on the northeast coast, partly because there's a local hotel in Hexham where I live who currently have, they bought some of my prints previously when they did a renovation, and they have got 3 spaces in, they did a further renovation during lockdown, and they have 3 new wall spaces that they want to put my work in to sort of keep it cohesive with the work they've bought before, and because it's a hotel and people come to visit the northeast, they've asked for ones that reflect the local area, and because the ones they have on the wall are coastal focused, that's basically what I'm working on. But I've also, in tandem with that, also because I've visited the Hebrides again several times since last year. Well, not the Hebrides, but the west coast of Scotland. In tandem with that, I'm working on some Hebridean inspired pieces as well. So that's basically the projects that I have on the horizon. I'm also working with a digital marketing social media coach over the next 3 months to help me to mitigate the issues that are being created around lockdown. So I'm quite excited about that. I had my first coaching session last Friday, and my next one is tomorrow, with lots of homework in between. So I'm being kept pretty busy.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Carol Nunan. If you'd like to find out more about her work, go to Instagram at Carol Nunan Print, Facebook Carol Nunan Printmaker, or check out her website, which has all of her work listed at www.carolnunan.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed this blog, and if you did so, I'd love it if you would subscribe, check out the previous content, follow us on Instagram and leave a comment. Thank you very much for the interview with Carol Nunan, writer Josephine Ellen Burden, and I hope you'll come back for more content like this in the future.